So, the Pokemon Unite you've been playing for almost a year does not exist anymore. Every single game up until this point, completely fraudulent. That is how much Buddy Barrier and Score Shield have been changed. But before we get into that, we need to talk about the data mine, because Delphox and Espeon are coming to Pokemon Unite. Like, it's cool to see these Pokemon. I'm happy to see both of them, especially after some of the weird ones that have been coming out recently. But I am a little disappointed because, like, Pokemon Unite is supposed to be the bastion. It's the only true competitive Pokemon game right now because you can't cheat it like you do with Pokemon Sword and Shield and all the hacking that's in there. But we still have, like, data mines kind of spoiling things. It would have been like, oh man, Delphox, oh man, Espeon. And there's also, like, gameplay and details. I'm not going to cover those because of the copyright strike and also me just not being super fond and happy of this, and also like the exclusivity behind the hacking for it. But yeah, if you want to know when they're coming out, Espeon 16th of May, so 3 weeks from now. Delphox 3 weeks after that. Cool, like that. I'm excited for it. Now 2 attackers back to back, going to be interesting, but I think they're going to kind of fill in some niche playstyles, and we're going to see how the game goes. It looks good. It looks good right now. Also, I want to give my thoughts on, like, the monthly subscription system. I truly find it insulting that you're paying, like, $10 a month or $12 or whatever the number comes out to, and you're getting temporary licenses and temporary skins. Like, if they just didn't include this, I would like it more for getting less, because this seems just very insulting for no reason. So you get, like, customization, 40 gems every day. If you play every day, you actually get, like, more gems, also a special holo outfit and stuff. It's like, the value is actually there. If you are really invested into Pokemon Unite, it's like, yeah, it's actually not bad, because you get a skin, that's money, and then you get gems that you can use to do whatever you want, and then it also works for, like, battle passes and stuff. Also, I am 100% in support of free games having, like, battle passes and subscription services and monetization. That way you can actually, like, pay for the servers and support the devs for making a good product. The problem is the devs are so out of touch that I'm kind of disgusted by this. Also, they didn't separate solo queue and 5 stacks, so there's no reason to play or support Pokemon Unite at this time, even though this is, like, the best balanced patch we've seen, and Pokemon Unite is as balanced as it's ever been, or, like, the most balanced, at least this year, a couple months into that, and effectively, like, since launch. Like, Pokemon Unite might actually be the most balanced it's ever been. We're going to see how that plays out, and the Buddy Barrier change is so significant, I'm not even mad that there's not a Zapdos change, because this changes the entirety of the endgame. This changes Zapdos. This also reduces, like, the Score Shield nerf is also insane, because it means, like, the backdooring and the trading Zapdos for just dropping, like, 500 Buddy Barrier Score Shield ulted points into the base. Like, that interaction doesn't exist. Now, it does mean Zapdos is more important, but that's, like, Zapdos fights are more important, and then, like, yeah, you still get trolls and stuff, but that's just team gap. You can't do anything about it. But what it means is, like, every single Zapdos fight is now completely different, and that's going to take time. It's going to take time for players to adjust. I've seen that in my games already, where people are treating it like, well, I'm just going to go in, and even with the Nerf Buddy Barrier, I'm going to get, you know, 100% health shield, and I'm going to be okay. But no, fights are ending instantly, people aren't used to it, and the game's over. And that is a problem with Zapdos, but I feel like it was more a Buddy Barrier problem than Zapdos problem at this time, and you need to see how the fights change before you can make a change on Zapdos. Like, they could do all this, change Zapdos, and then the game's worse. So, like, I think this is okay as long as a Zapdos change is coming and overall game health, but this is really good for overall game health. Like, this needed to happen month 2. This, like, at least mobile launch, because everyone's been complaining about this, and finally, the devs put their ego down, and they made the game playable. Too little, too late, personally, especially, again, no separation of the queues. And it was weird because I gave up hope. I actually never thought I would see these changes. I haven't even talked about the changes. This needs 5 minutes of preamble about how significant the changes are until we get into them. And then you'll see them be like, oh yeah, I could go on for an hour about all of this. I even lost my train of thought a little bit. Give me a second. Oh yeah, that dev post. We're like, we're happy to see all of the strategies that have been emerging with our game. It's like, no. Greedent invading and then just inting with Score Shield is not healthy for the game. The entire competitive scene boiling down to Starve bot meta versus Giga int score meta, and like those are the only 2 team compositions that exist in the game, that's not healthy. And we've been saying that for 6 months, and the devs finally did something about it. So again, it's like, cool, but you've already killed your game, and you've made extra decisions to kill your game, and this just seems like a desperate way to keep your game alive because you've killed it. And if you didn't do any of the stupid stuff, then yeah, we'd have a game that everyone likes now. And this is definitely like an enjoyable game. I'm having fun in Pokemon Unite, and I'm gonna quit until the queues are separated, just to make a statement. I want to play Pokemon Unite. I want Pokemon Unite to be great, but nah, I don't care. However, let's get into the changes. So, Buddy Bear hit points down 150. I don't think it needed that. Like, I was like, maybe the 500 is all right on Buddy Barrier. It could keep this. Like, what I've been saying is, like, keep Buddy Bear at 600 base health, nerf it to 25% shield, game's okay. Like, that's all I wanted from a nerf. If it goes to 550, if it goes to 500, even better. Kind of, like, disincentivize it. But this kills Buddy Bear. Multiple Buddy Bear shields no longer stack on top of one another. I didn't even ask for that much. I was like, yo, I'm okay with 25% max health shields. That's okay. Also, I got so worked up there was a burp in there. I don't know if you heard it, but if they did, that's why I'm calling John's on. Wow, like they could have done any of these in isolation. Mine's like, okay, either take the shield to 25% or just make it don't stack, but keep it at 40%. That's okay. But no, this item's dead. This item is only viable on supports now, or that's kind of like the plan. Like a support or a tank, like 2 Buddy Bears on a team, is about it. I wonder if there is logic in here. So, like, what if someone gets Buddy Buried as the lowest health, but because they have the shield, they stay at the lowest health, and then someone else Buddy Barriers? Does it deprioritize someone with a Buddy Barrier? Or if the second Pokemon using its Buddy Barrier, does it just not give it to anyone else? If that's the extra nerf on top of it, even 2 Buddy Barriers is risky. But, like, support should still have it, because it's the Buddy Barrier. You've got your buddy, your support, you're being a buddy, make sure you have your buddy. That makes sense, and even at 40%, that's okay. I don't want this item buffed. I want this item effectively removed from the game. That's cool. But now think about it. Every fight in Pokemon Unite, like every team fight past 5 minutes is now different. The game you lost because you were stomping them all game, their Eldegoss, Wigglytuff, Mr. Mime composition is 2 levels down, their jungle is 1 level down, and you still lose the Zapdos fight because Cinderace is walking in with 200% max health shield, and they are getting all the support just piled onto them? Yeah, like, the Wigglytuff was only gross because of Buddy Barrier, and the multiple support compositions were only gross because, like, the multiplication power cannot be outdone in the end game, no matter how far ahead you are. Like, when you were super far ahead on whatever Pokemon, you were about to get the execution, and then you watch, you know, Cinderace's health or their jungle's health go from 500 to 6,000 off of just Buddy Barriers. Even though you got the play, you did everything right, they just had 4 people press Unite roughly in the same thing as supports. That doesn't happen. Like, the games are just different now. And again, it's taking a while for people to adjust. I'm thinking back on my games, I'm like, oh, that's why I kind of tossed that fight. Oh, that's why my team, we thought we were in position, but we were actually out of position. Because I didn't know that this part happened. I didn't know this bottom part happened. I don't think a lot of people did. Because, like, if you just read the text, like, okay, 25%, I'm okay. Because if I have 3 Buddy Bears, it's still 75%. No, you're capped at 25%. You have nothing now. And that's why Greninja's the best Pokemon in the game. Because Greninja can chew through anything at once while in stealth. Any Pokemon that gets backlight access is now broken. The game is, like, a game is like Season 1 League of Legends. Beta League of Legends. Everything's broken now. And I like it that way. So I'm happy with all this. This nerfed Buddy Bear further than I thought. And I'm okay with that. Score Shield, just not viable. It was never viable. Score Shield always the worst item. Score Shield was effectively the litmus test of if you are good at the game. If you think Score Shield is good, you suck. And then you can just watch people run it down. Like, Score Shield was only used to bully, like, for bad players to bully worse players. And then everyone just complains on the ladder even though you're all crap. Like, that's how it was. Also, side note, like, anyone that follows Crashy that's like, oh man, the biggest change that we need is the ranked ladder. Nah, like, matchmaking doesn't need a change. You're just a bad player complaining because you're getting other bad players, but you're still the bad player. Like that's the issue. There's still bad players in 2600, 2800, over 3000. They're running troll picks and weird strats that they think is good because an influencer said so. No, that doesn't change anything. Like, I don't care if there's a negative win rate, because you can still get to 2500 with a negative win rate. I don't care if you have more or less games. I just care if you're good on your character. And I'd rather have a Lucario with 100 games that knows how to press extreme speed than a Score Shield Stealth Rocks Crustle with 800 games and a 57% win rate. I'd rather have that Lucario that can actually, like, play the game, you know? And even then, like, what if someone has MOBA experience? I came in the game, naturally just one of the best players to ever exist. And that could still happen. Like, so yeah, the rank system's fraudulent because you can still climb on negative win rate. 90% of the player base is terrible because they have no idea how to play. And then they just get mad about it. Like if you're watching Crashy, who is a worse player and just not even that great in general, it's like, okay, that says everything. And then if you're getting mad at me for stating this, okay, you were refusing to get better at the game. And then you were still thinking like Score Shield and all these other things. Like, yeah, it just creates unhealthiness. And in coordinated play, it just makes the game unfun. So, Greedent. Like, Greedent had some weird stuff, and I just like this. Fast Squirrel, go less fast. CC is no longer flat out removed, just converted to a slow. That's huge, because unstoppability is the strongest effect in this game, and just being able to do whatever you want and walk away, gross. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I think there was also a thing where in the patch notes it said that you get Tackle and Belch cooldown like reset, so maybe you get like an extra Belch or Tackle, which is fair on that, but at least like speed is just the strongest stat in MOBAs or fighting games, or not fighting games, but like action arena-based games, like arena shooters or whatever. So like an arena game, speed is the best stat, crowd control immunity is the best effect. Greedent just had that, and it can go wherever it wanted, and there was just no counterplay. Counterplay is a big thing about the game, and that's what made Greedent annoying, but it was also just not a champion. Like, you ignore Greedent, even if it scores 300 points, you used to secure your Zapdos, you get 500, and then the opponent's team didn't get the score, so it's like, okay, you still win. And that's why Greedent sucked, but people still ran it down with Greedent. People still ran it down with Score Shield, and people are still doing it, because they'll like, I saw Crustle in one of my games. Let's see if I can just find that clip. This is a patch review. But who even cares at this point? Alright, watch this. Crustle leads Zapdos with Fluffy Tail. One is alive, one is coming back. Lucario also coming back. Like, we pretty much have this secured, but why take a 100% secure and then flip it into an 80% secure for no reason? Throws down the Stealth Rocks with the Fluffy Tail early. And then walks away to score while Pikachu is in the area. Doesn't wait to throw and reset a second Stealth Rocks. Like, that's just these players. And the thing is, matchmaking can't fix this because we win the game. So, this idiot gets boosted, and he's going to be in your game, and he's going to have positive win rate and all these other things, but he's still the problem with the game. Again, but matchmaking can't fix that. And again, in bad players, they will watch people like A-Drive who admit to not being good at the game. But because he's just a greedy jerk, and you can see that from how he does, like, fake leaks and just lies to people all day and hacks his games and stuff. But because, like he says he's bad at the game, but then you watch a tier list. You're deliberately making yourself worse at the game for no reason, and then you complain about matchmaking. Shows you the problem. Instead of just thinking logically, and even though this is a bit negative, it's just the fact. Truth hurts. But yeah, like, that's just it. Like, that's the mentality of a Score Shield Stealth Rocks player. I know it's not all of them, that's not how you're supposed to play it, but this is just the latter. This is just 90% of the player base being unsalvageable. So, all that otherness. Blissey. Don't know what these Blissey changes do. Is Blissey still A tier? Did Eldegoss losing Buddy Barrier hurt it more than Blissey just having now, like, good Bliss Assist that matters? Because, like, yeah, Bliss Assist also with, like, Buddy Barrier stacking can't do anything about it. But now, like, that Bliss Assist could just be all that matters, and since everything is like faster paced and people are getting blown up in the backline, that Bliss Assist prevents you from getting assassinated by Greninja. Greninja goes down, and now that Pokemon has momentum and Blissey's healing it, sure, maybe something happened. So this is going to be interesting to see if, like, if it buffs Blissey. If it doesn't, maybe it's viable. Maybe Eldegoss is still broken because that shield, just 5,000 health shield to the team on an engage. That makes up for Buddy Bearer right there. But what happened was, Soft-Boiled, if you pick Egg Bomb with it, you now get extra charges. So both moves give 2 charges each, and the Soft-Boiled Plus is now at level 10 before the level 12, so you're getting the bonus charges on top of that, I believe. So, like, 6 charges at level 10. But you're giving up the best move in the game, Helping Hand. Egg Bomb is inconsistent, but if you get like a fat Egg Bomb onto someone and like it displaces a team and chunks damage, cool, but then now you're giving up healing. It's a buff to Blissey, but the game is too volatile for me to understand what this means. Maybe Blissey's S tier now. Maybe not. Duraludon, I don't know. It's busted. Dragon Pulse is too weird. Nerfs happened. Stuff. Alola Ninetales getting a nerf. So Blizzard hits more often but less hard. Aurora Veil hits just as often as it always has, but no longer gives you a bajillion hit points anymore. Only like a third of a bajillion. So Aurora Veil healing ratio down. Less scaling, less base. Wow, yeah. That buff, a thing. Also movement speed buff reduced. Ninetales? Still definitely viable. I don't know if this... I feel like this nerf knocks it out of S tier, but still a very strong Pokemon, especially because its laning is really good. And then stun duration decrease with increased, and then more hits. Or like, it's easier to hit. Talonflame, radius decrease on AoE, center to center range remains the same. On Brave Bird. Well, Brave Bird was always the bad pick. Again, like, if there's just a Brave Bird Talonflame or Scorch Shield Talonflame pre-patch, even when people thought Scorch Shield was good, it's like, no, that's just... Like, I'm losing this game. Or if, like, someone just leaves Zapdos to try to score. Like, the other thing about that Crustal play. You get Zapdos, and then you 100% score anyways. You leave Zapdos and you give up the score. Like, I don't understand why people will just give up the 500 points to maybe score 100 points for themselves. Even if they like Scorch Shield and it's like guaranteed to them because no one stops them because they're all at Zapdos. So, like, it's still never worth it. It's never worth to peel away from Zapdos and score. So that's why I'm like, even though Scorch Shield sucked, it needed to get nerfed into oblivion. So people stopped doing that. It needed to just disincentivize bad play. But yeah, now like, I guess center, I don't know, like, maybe it can still jump the same distance, but just smaller overall. Flame Sweep, cooldown increase, so it's not as spammable. That's actually a big ratio cut. Actually, yeah, that just got knocked. All right, Talonflame. I didn't take this into consideration when I did my tier list. Maybe it's an A tier instead of A plus tier. They say the most humiliating death is 1 by 1,000 cuts. Just took its first 100. We'll see if there's more. Shielding reduced on Trick, on range. Auto attack range reduced on Trick. Longer cooldown. Healing reduction. Shadow Ball stun reduced. Phantom Force increase. Like, pick Phantom Force is the incentivization. I don't know if that actually matters. And everything else is still weird. Hoopa's just a mess. I still don't comprehend what that Pokemon has done to the game, and I'm not going to learn now. So, Discharge. Shield ratio up 30%. Extra few hundred on the shield with passive. Also, base is up, so shield is fatter. Wild Charge got, like, buffed a gigajillion times. I don't know. Got buffed a lot. And then Discharge finally needed the nerf. Zeraor's in a weird spot. I think it's still a very strong Pokemon. Like, Zeraor is in the level 10 Garchomp realm. It's where you can get there, and you need to be really good at getting there, but once you get there, you win the game. People are just like, oh, it's the only Pokemon that's level 10, therefore bad. It needs a buff like everyone else. No. Zeraor exists in a very specific niche. And as we can see, the same people that are saying, like, we need the matchmaking to be changed are also like, Zeraor's bad. Because they're just bad, and that's the biggest downfall of the game is not Zapdos. It was Buddy Bearer, but now it's not Buddy Bearer, not Zapdos, it's the players. Get better. Better yourself. This is your wake-up call. Age of Slash. Strange programmers lying in Japan disputing buffs towards swords, no basis for system balance. Supreme executive power derives from mandate from masses, not from some. I don't even know what that means. When we got the early leaks and the translations, there was mistranslations. Like, they said Goal Getter, even though it was a Score Shield nerf. I didn't want to get my hopes up when it was retranslated. It's like it was like Korean website. Weird translations. I don't know. So let's see what happened. Boost attack ratio, additional damage, up 1% max health, shield form, boost attack, heal, increase. So your boost attack, no matter what you do, is just better now. Cool. Stun duration increase on Sacred Sword. I didn't think Sacred Sword needed a buff. In my last video, like when I was talking about the preliminary patch notes, people were like, yeah, Sacred Sword's still better. I don't know why it needed a buff. But it's just big buff. Stun duration increase. I've been feeling it. Like, I've actually seen Pokemon get stunned from the Sacred Sword. It was such a micro stun before that, like, I never noticed it. Now I notice it. So, extra ratio of 10%. H/slash hits, what, 300-400 attacks, so 40 damage, 50 damage on the triangle attack. The dash, then being another 100? Like, you just get 200 more damage. and a bigger stun. And then 1% of their health, which is like another 50. So yeah, like, H/slash hurts now. Cool. Even though it always hurt. Branch Poke. Not the Horn Leech. But yeah, Branch Poke, slow increased, good. Damage up. 40 base, a little bit of scaling, extra ratio. I don't know what that means for secures and like fighting it out, but yeah. So you get 9% of your health for landing it in 3 ticks. Disgusting. So like Curse, Branch Poke, I thought was good. Like, I've done some nasty things at level 5 with Curse, Branch Poke, where it's like, yeah, you get the reset, you double dash into them. It feels good, but yeah, like, this is just better. So now you can actually do something and then you scale. Curse is buffed, less self damage. Neat. And now you do more damage dealt on Pain Split, and Phantom Force is a bit more common. The Tremendous My game kind of sucked, but seems like I got a lot to work with here. I like that it's like buffing the playstyle and not just like, you do more damage, Wood Hammer. You know, something stupid like that. Where it's like, no, this is a very, very intelligent buff on the Trevenant. So, Cramorant Unite. Oh wait, this is I know how Cramorant works. I don't need to read this. Air Slash fires an additional 5th blade. So, that's a weird adjustment compared to like the things I read, but like still sucks. If you ever thought this was viable, you suck. This is unfortunate. I thought Gatling Gulp Missile got a bigger cooldown reduction, but this still matters. Like, I feel these 11 seconds. And when it's a 600-second game, you feel that over the course of 3 uses or something. And I was wondering, I was like, oh, I used it and it got buffed allegedly, but I still don't have it when I expect to. But I was getting a lot of situations where like 97, 98, 99, oh! Like, that was happening at crucial fights, so this puts Cramorant in the right spot. Still needs to revert the Surf Nerf, still needs to revert the Whirlpool Nerf. But fine. Ooh. I was also wondering, like, when I was doing, I was like, I don't feel the damage on Cramorant's Unite move. Now, Cramorant is indirectly buffed because less Buddy Bear shields means your Unite actually pokes through her shield and hits someone now, instead of just being complete nothing. But yeah, like, let's see where these numbers go. So it's like plus 70, but we lose 9 scaling. So at level 11, you're just down damage. How is this a buff, devs? And I was wondering, I was like, I think it's the same. It might actually be a decrease if you're not going full AP. Because like this 17% is nice. But to get that damage back, like you need Wise Glasses plus Specs. And I'm considering Shell Bell just for the cooldown reduction, even though Shell Bell's still like a meh item. But like very situational ideas. And you can't, like, this doesn't buff Energy Amplifier. This nerfs Energy Amplifier, Cram. Which is now viable, or should have been viable, because you go Energy Amp instead of Buddy Barrier. This can't be right. But this is data mined. It's like, yeah, okay, so what do you do with 17% ratio? You get 17 damage. Anything past level 11 is nerf. Someone else do the math. My brain. That's just a big... Yeah, Greninja's busted. And I don't understand Azumarill. But yeah, like... None of this needed... Like, here's the patch. None of this matters. Cramorant... Actually, Trevenant Cramorant quality of life. Good. Oh, I actually didn't look at the numbers on the card. Just kind of skipped over that. Win rate dropping 0.5%. This is some Riot stuff where it's like, so we're gonna buff the base health by 5, and then we're going to add 0.25 AD scaling per level, but minus 0.1 armor growth, and that's going to give us a 0.6% win rate adjustment to bring this character up from 48.5 to 49.3, and now that's healthy for this champion. I hate Riot. Mostly ratio cut, which is actually smart, because the big problem is like when attack weight gets out of control, And that's just direct attack. But if Lucario's running anything else, it's not going to feel it. Like 10 base, that doesn't matter. 25% of an extra 100 attack, and then like other items and potential weakness policy and weird stacking and things like coming into that play. So you're losing like 35 damage per extreme speed, but if you're landing 5 extreme speeds, that's execution terror. And this actually didn't feel like it got hit. I was wondering why the Lucarios were still dumpstering in my games. This is why. But I think this makes it to where like Lucario doesn't get unstoppable, but Lucario is just fine. Like Lucario did not get hit in non-attack weight scenarios, and is just now like prevented from 1v9ing entirely, but definitely still viable. However, this is going to have the opposite effect, where nerfing extreme speed is going to put people back on Power Punch, even though Power Punch is the worst moveset. Once again, it's not matchmaking, it's the players. This is your patch note. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.